Let's be real, everyone wants something fast, cool, and reliable, but no one wants to pay BMW or Lexus money for it. So, what if I told you that you could get a V6 manual transmission Japanese-built sedan that could surprise Mustangs, tear up canyon roads, and still haul your groceries for under 10 grand? These aren't your typical Civics or Corollas. These are JDM sleeper sedans, totally underrated, totally fun, and totally within reach. We're talking about hidden gems most people overlook. But real car nerds, they know what's up. So buckle in, because today we're diving into the top 5 underrated JDM sleeper sedans you can buy for under $10,000. Let's go. Let's start strong with one of the most criminally underrated JDM sedans of the 2000s, the Mazda 6 V6, with a 6-speed manual transmission. Yeah, that's right. A front-wheel drive, mid-size family sedan that lets you row your own gears. Sounds boring, not even close. Under the hood sits a 3.0-liter Duratec V6, pumping out about 220 horsepower and 192 pound-foot of torque. Now on paper, that might not sound like a big deal, but this car weighs just under 400 pounds and came with short gear ratios. That means when you mash the throttle, it actually feels fast, especially from a dig and up to highway speeds. But here's the real kicker. It looks like something your mom would drive to Target. Bone stock it flies under the radar. But with a set of sticky tires, some upgraded suspension, and a decent alignment, this thing becomes a surprisingly sharp-handling canyon carver. Mazda was known for its sporty driving dynamics back then, and the 6 was no exception. The steering feel is communicative, the chassis is tight, and it actually wants to dance through corners. And here's where the sleeper status really kicks in. No one expects it. Pull up to a red light next to a newer Civic Si, or even a stock WRX, and they're thinking it's just some beat-up econobox from the early 2000s. But once that clutch drops, they'll be rethinking their life choices. It's also got real underdog energy. The aftermarket isn't massive, but that's part of the fun. When you build a Mazda 6 V6, you're not just copying someone else's formula, you're making something unique. Toss on an intake long tube headers, full exhaust, and get a proper tune. And suddenly, you've got a sleeper that pulls hard through the mid-range and has a killer exhaust note. You want personality. This thing's got it. You want value, even better. You can still find clean examples between $4,000 and $6,500, especially the early models. That's insane, considering how much potential is packed into such a forgotten platform. The Mazda6 V6 V6 is the kind of car that makes you fall back in love with driving. It's raw, responsive, totally unpretentious, and when you find one in good shape with the manual, you grab it and don't let go. This is what real car passion looks like when no one's watching. Coming in hot, the 7th-generation Honda Accord V6 with a manual transmission. And before you scroll away, thinking this is just your uncle's daily commuter, hold up. This car is one of the best-kept secrets Honda ever let slip into the streets. Let's set the scene. Early 2000s. Everyone's chasing Civics Integra, or dreaming about an NSX. Meanwhile, Honda quietly drops a family sedan with the soul of a Type S and the hardware to back it up. And guess what? Most people still sleep on it. Pop the hood, and you'll find one of Honda's best V6 ever made, the legendary J30A4, a 3.0-liter VTEC V6, pushing out 240 horsepower and 212 pound-foot of torque. For a front-wheel drive sedan in 2003, that was seriously quick, especially when paired with a buttery smooth 6-speed manual and a factory-limited slip differential on the coupe variant. That's right, Honda gave this thing real performance tools, not just marketing hype. You get the classic VTEC surge as you climb past 5,000 RPM, but it's wrapped in something that looks totally innocent. From the outside, it's clean conservative and, dare I say, a little boring. But behind the wheel, it's a different story. It pulls hard revs smooth and will absolutely roast unsuspecting rivals at a stoplight. And here's where things get fun. The aftermarket scene for the 7th Gen Accord is thriving. Whether you want to build a sleek VIP-style cruiser, a canyon carver with coilovers and sticky tires, or go full sleeper mode with a turbo kit and a quiet exhaust, you've got options. Tons of them. And let's not forget, this is a Honda. That means parts are everywhere. Tech support is endless, and reliability next level if you keep up with maintenance. It's not bulletproof if you neglect it, but treat it right, and it'll return the favor for years. Now, here's the real kicker. You can still find these for under $8,000 if you know where to look. Coupes with the manual tend to go for a little more, but sedan versions are slipping through the cracks, and most people have no idea what they're seeing until it's already pulling ahead. So, yeah, it might not look like a legend. But under that business-casual exterior, this Accord is a full-blown JDM sleeper, and one of the most underrated performance sedans of its era. Don't let it pass you by. Next up, the early 2000s Nissan Maxima SE. At first glance, it looks like something your dad would drive to a PTA meeting. Quiet, respectable, nothing wild. But under the surface, it's a whole different beast. This car is like that one family member who shows up in slacks and a button-up, but the second the music drops, he's drifting through the parking lot and lighting up the tires. From 2002 to 2006, Nissan gave the Maxima SE a serious dose of performance DNA. We're talking about the legendary 3.5-liter VQ35DE V6, the same high-revving, torquey heavy engine that powered the Nissan 350Z and Infiniti G35. That means you've got 255 to 265 horsepower under your right foot, in a car that most people would mistake for a boring commuter. But here's where it gets spicy. Nissan didn't just throw in a hot engine. They also offered a 6-speed manual transmission on the SE trim. That's right, a full 3-pedal setup in a front-wheel drive mid-size sedan. Shift it right, and this thing comes alive. It's smooth, it's responsive, and when you pin the throttle, the Maxima absolutely moves. Nissan marketed this generation as the 4-door sports car, and for once the hype wasn't just marketing fluff. The VQ sings when you let it breathe, especially with an intake and aftermarket exhaust. And despite being front-wheel drive, the car has a light, playful chassis that loves to be pushed. The top-end surge feels addicting, and the throttle response is instant. Now, is it perfect? No. The factory suspension is soft, and torque steer is definitely part of the experience. But that just gives you more reason to mod it. Throw on some coilovers, upgrade the mounts, get a solid alignment, and suddenly, this family sedan transforms into a real backroad weapon. And the best part, these Maximas are criminally underpriced. You can find clean examples on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace for $4,000 to $6,000 all day. No hype tax, no inflated JDM badge premium, just raw performance hidden in plain sight. This is the kind of car that shows up to a meet and gets no attention until you gap someone twice your price tag. The Maxima SE is hands down one of the most overlooked and underrated sleeper sedans from the golden era of early 2000s Japanese performance. Now we're getting spicy. Ever heard of the Subaru Legacy B4 RSK? No shame if you haven't, because it was JDM only. But for the real ones who import or browse Japanese auction sites, this car is a unicorn. Under the hood, a twin-turbocharged EJ20 flat-4 making around 280 horsepower. All-wheel drive, manual gearbox, and it's a sedan so it stays low-key. The B4 RSK was basically Subaru's executive WRX. It had leather, a more refined look, and a sleeper vibe, but it's still absolutely ripped. The sequential twin-turbo setup means torque hits early and keeps pulling through the rev range. And the sound, classic Subaru Boxer rumble, but with turbo whistles and blow-off valve hisses. It's pure JDM magic. Since this car was never sold in the US, you'll need to import one, but they're legal now under the 25-year rule. And in Japan, these go for around $4,500 to $7,000, depending on condition. If you want something unique, fast, and capable in all weather, the B4 RSK is the ultimate JDM sleeper. Last but not least, the 4th-gen Subaru Legacy GT. Think of it as a WRX wearing a business suit. Understated styling, but it's got serious firepower underneath. It's powered by a turbocharged 2.5-liter flat-4, the EJ255, making 250 horsepower and 250 pound-foot of torque. And yes, it was available with a 5-speed manual and Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive. Performance-wise, this car can do 0 to 60 in under 6 seconds stock. Throw in a tune and bolt-ons, and you're looking at WRX STI levels of power without the boy racer looks. Interior is classy too. Leather seats, decent infotainment for the time, and a design that aged pretty well. It doesn't scream fast, but that's the whole point. They're also mod-friendly. You've got access to a ton of WRX and STI aftermarket support, from bigger turbos to suspension upgrades. Right now, Legacy GTs can be found for $5,000 to $9,000, depending on mileage and rust. Just make sure the turbo and head gaskets are in good shape suiting the thing. It's fast, it's comfy, it's AWD, and nobody sees it coming. A true sleeper. And there you have it, 5 JDM sleeper sedans that'll blow your mind and not your wallet. All under $10K, all underrated, and all capable of making even a car snob raise an eyebrow. If you're a teenager looking for your first real enthusiast car, or a seasoned JDM fan who wants something different, these sedans deliver the goods. They're fast fun, reliable, and full of mod potential. Which one would you daily? Would you go VIP style, turbo sleeper, or full-on canyon carver? Drop your pick in the comments, and let's talk builds. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We're always dropping real car content for real enthusiasts. Catch you in the next one. Peace.